Messing up when you are a leader can feel like the end, but it can be redeemed. Hello, friend. Ever mess up so big and you wondered if you could ever recover? I want to tell you a story that I'm hoping I can get through and then just teach some points with how I recover and how I recover now in the future when I make mistakes. So a few years ago, we sold one of my locations, the building. We owned the building, and I had a business within it in a different town than my original location. And we got a great price for the building. My dad wanted to downsize, and at the time I was a pastor at a church, and I was thinking I was going to sell all my businesses and just do that. And so we had put the building on the market to sell it. Well, we got an offer almost a year later on the building that was great. And so we accepted the offer. But at the same time, I was going to India to train Christian leaders on how to develop leaders. And it was an amazing time. But while this was going on, the store was winding down and everything moved quicker than I thought it would. Unfortunately, I did not warn my staff. I did not have conversations with them. While I was gone is when they found out that they were losing their jobs and losing this business. And there was people that had worked with me for like 14, 15 years. I lost friends. I messed up. If you're honest in your leadership, you've messed up just like me. Maybe not in the same way, but you've messed up. So how do we turn this from just failure, just loss of friendships? Because let's be honest, if you're leading well, they become friends, they become family. I think the first step is to acknowledge that we messed up. Like, I could honestly, and at first I didn't acknowledge that I didn't warn people that I cared about what was going on. I mean, they knew it was for sale, but they didn't know the full picture of what was going on. And I definitely didn't tell them when it got accepted because honestly, I let fear drive me. That people would leave that second. Instead of giving them the heads up, it wasn't right. And you have to acknowledge when you make mistakes. If you don't acknowledge, you can't move forward. See, I could blame the environment. I could be like, oh, that was the right thing to do. They might not have liked it. But with people responding that vehemently to me, for me to not at least look at it would have been very foolish. Because people that didn't like how I did that, I think were right. The second step, ask for forgiveness. All too often in our culture, we skip by this. You're going to mess up as a leader. You're going to break trust. And if you don't ask for forgiveness, not only is trust lost, but it's probably lost forever. Like, acknowledging you made the mistake is really good. It's important. But not asking for forgiveness is forgetting that they're people on the other side of your decisions. Asking for forgiveness has redeemed more in my life, in my businesses, in my families, in my friendships, than anything else. You're a human. I'm a human. This isn't like an automated channel, right? Like, I'm a human being, you're a human being, and we're fallible. We're going to make mistakes. If you're in a relationship with someone long enough, they will hurt you. It's the reality of relationships. And we need to be really good at asking for forgiveness. On the other side of that, leader, this is not even but when people you're leading mess up and ask you for forgiveness, lavish them with grace. Because it's going to come back one day or another. This is not what the video is about, but I think it's important. My friend and I were talking the other morning about habits that we've instilled within our marriage. And this is a crucial one. When someone asks for forgiveness, don't tell them it's okay. Tell them you forgive them. See, when we say okay, it's okay, or it doesn't matter, like we're communicating things that I don't think we want to communicate. Forgiveness, we're allowing the person to present their heart, and we're humbly receiving it. It feels awkward, doesn't it? Embrace the awkward and say, I forgive you. And if they need to be built back up, build them back up. All right. Number 3, become a CSI investigator. I wanted to be a police officer at one point and investigate crime, and maybe that's why I'm like talking about it here. But learn from it. Tear it apart. Be brutally honest. See, acknowledging our mistakes and asking for forgiveness is great. Repeating it again and again and again and again and again pretty much means your forgiveness is going to mean nothing. You asking for an apology is going to be meaningless. You got to learn from it. We have to learn from our mistakes. That's how we get better. When you make a mistake once is great. Like, please make more. I know that sounds crazy, but I tell people when they start working for me, we want you to make mistakes here. Why? If someone's not making mistakes, they're not pushing themselves. They're living in this safe, comfortable box. But when they're exploring the great frontier, which I think we're all meant for, to live on the edge of light and darkness, mistakes are going to happen. But learn from it. When I sell my other restaurant, I will operate way differently. I got a playbook and a list of how I'm going to do it in the future because I took time to explore where it went wrong and how I'll do it differently. And guess what? When that happens, when that day happens, because it's going to happen at some point, like hopefully a long time from now, I want to do it well. I don't want to lose friendships again. I don't want to have trouble telling the story. I want to tell the story with pride. And the only way that happens is when we become an investigator of our mistakes so that we can learn from it. The next step, boldly go forward. I could point at myself and go, I shouldn't make videos on YouTube because I messed up. You wouldn't have the gift of me. No. It would cage me. If you focus on your mistakes and don't go forward, you will be a cage to your mistakes forever. There is beauty right now in my restaurant. We are continuing to create leaders. I have some people from my old location that are still working for me. And I'm developing them to the best of my ability because I'm going forward. I didn't sell everything and go, oh, I'm just a terrible leader. You have to go, no, I'm a human leader. And I will learn and I will grow and I will make new mistakes. But I am going to take that hill. I think it was Churchill, but I'm not positive. But I think it was Churchill that said, the trick of leadership basically is to go from failure to failure without the loss of enthusiasm. Life is going to be full of failures, but fail forward. Fail forward. So something that has come up in my life when I fail, when I fall down in the past, and sometimes in the present, is self-hatred. And if this is something you struggle with, where you start hating yourself and looking at yourself in a bad light, please watch this video right here. I know it'll help you. Have a great day, and God bless you in your journey.